right, students. We've just gone over atoms and parts of the atom. And now we're going to take the next step in matter, and that is chemical bonding. Atoms do not work by themselves, they pair up with each other. They pair up with each other to form all these awesome substances that we see all around us today. And that happens with something called chemical bonding. So this is the Nearpod that you guys are going to be doing, but this is me going over it on YouTube in case you missed school or something like that. Here's our wonderful SOL that we're going to be talking about today. Now, here's the interactive thing that we did the other day. This is the third time you've seen this, but I want to show you the importance of this. Let me make a hydrogen. Hydrogen right now is a neutral atom. It has an electron. Electrons are really the things that make bonding happen. So here's here's a hydrogen with an extra electron. It has an extra electron. What's it going to do with this extra electron? Maybe we're going to find out. Sometimes they need an electron. Sometimes they have just right. Sometimes they have an extra. And sometimes they need. So if we go up to other substances, let's go up to boron. I'm going to make boron. I'm going to even out the protons and neutrons. And here boron is looking for an electron. If there's a hydrogen with an extra electron, they can share it or it can give it up. That's how atoms bond. They have extra electrons and they share, they give, or they're attracted. And that's what atoms do. And this is the next step to chemical equations. But today, we're talking about why the atoms link up. And that's why I messed around with this. Chemical bond, an interaction that joins atoms together. What is a chemical bond? A chemical bond is an electrical force that holds two atoms together. This is from the positively charged nucleus and the negatively charged electrons. An ion is formed when an atom gains or loses an electron. If you looked back on that last slide, it said like ion with a negative or ion with a positive. In water, H2O, electrons are shared between items. And here's a wonderful TED Ed that I would like you to watch. So we have three types of bonds, not James Bond, but we have ionic bond, covalent bond, and metallic bonds. And ionic bonds are an attractive force between ions with opposite charges. So I have a negatively charged atom and a positively charged atom, and they attract each other like magnets. Covalent bonds, where they share the electron. They just say, hey, I need one. You got one? Sure, let's share. That means they're kind of like holding hands. And they're going to hold hands for a long time until something breaks them apart. Metallic bonds form due to the attraction of metal ions and free electrons around them. So, atoms, we're either attracted, we're going to share an electron, or they're attracted with metals. Now, these bonds form different types of substances. A metallic bond is very flat. That's why metals are smooth. Ionic bond, sodium chloride, or what you might know as salt, comes together in this type of shape. Covalent bonds like water, they're a liquid. It's a lot of it at room temperature, they will be liquids. So the type of bonding determines what the substance is going to be like for you and me. And there are other things other than smooth, liquid or gas at room temperature, or have a rough surface or crystallize. Here is another interactive solution, interactive thing. I forgot what I said. So here is the chemical formula. Okay, so I have a Be and two Cls. And as I spin it around, ooh-wee. But let's change it to something where we have a carbon who's sharing electrons with 4 hydrogens. What about that? And if you watch, whoops, they all kind of keep their distance. And the carbon, CH4, I really don't know what substance that is, but look at that. They just stay together. And they move around and they help each other out. The hydrogens and the carbons share. This would be a covalent bond, I believe. So whatever this is, it's either a gas or a liquid at room temperature, or what we, 70 degrees or between 0 and 100. So 3 types of chemical bonds. Oh, wait, I could go back to that slide. There are other ones for you to play around with, and I, of course, will give you time. SF6. Whoa, look at all that. So these are like atoms and they're bonded. The bonds are the electrons. Ionic bonds have high melting points and are brittle. They break easily. So that is something you got to get it very hot for it to break. Or I'm sorry, to melt, and chances are it's going to break. Covalent bonds have low melting points and some are gaseous at room temperature. Water is a covalent bond. Metallic bonds are in metals. Good conductors of electricity can be easily bent. So metallic bonding is metal and metal. Ionic bonding is now this is a little common. This might be a little over your guy's head, but I wanted you to see that different types of bonds make different types of substances. Can conduct electricity and heat. That's because all their atoms are right together. They're mostly a solid. So what conducts electricity very well? Metals. And water will conduct it a little bit, but metals are the main ones. So chemical bonds are electrical forces that hold atoms together. 3 types of chemical bonds are ionic, covalent, and metallic. So you're in 6th grade. This is right here. 8th grade will do this. High school chemistry will do this. Just an introduction to bonding is what you get in 6th grade. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I am off to put this into YouTube. Oh, and one thing I want to add, the reason why I don't show you the videos right now is I was doing that in the spring during the 4th 9 weeks, and I got some copyright dings. So for you to watch them on Nearpod's perfectly fine. For me to show them fully and then embed them on YouTube, they didn't like that. A few companies, enough to make me stop.